Alright folks, it's time. The Star Wars book journey has been going on for a while, and finally diving in. New Jedi Order. I've been saying I wanted to do it forever. I had a couple more books that I wanted to get to before I dove in. I still wish that I had finished the full Young Jedi Knights series. I wish that I had finished the full Han Solo trilogy. I know that neither are vital. I've read everything that's considered vital to the New Jedi Order, but I wish I had gotten some of the extra context. But frankly, I'm just sick of not being able to say I've read them, and I really want to get to them. Particularly, I want to get to Matthew Stover's novel. I'm doing it. I'm diving in, and I'm very excited. As I record this, I'm actually already a little bit into Vector Prime. I've gone through the first maybe 100 pages or so, and I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I am intrigued to see where my thoughts on the series will fall overall. I do think I already know where I'm going to feel about some things. To start with the negatives, I think I'm not necessarily going to change my opinions on, like, the Vong themselves. I'm excited to meet Vong characters, and I'm already liking Nam Anor. I think he's really cool. I also like, what's the name of the spy who's infiltrated that Republic's outpost? He's fun. I'm enjoying his banter with the other characters there, but I'm not going to like the Vong suddenly. I mean, the cover of the book really does enough to make my argument for me. They're too gross and weird and ugly and slimy, and I don't like the gouged out eyes and the cut lips and the, mutilating themselves to worship a blood god. It's all just too much. I'm on the fence about the biotech. I think it'll probably depend on how well it's used in the series. I've said that I don't fully buy, they've got the lizard that detects poisons. They've got a slime thing that can mask themselves. Their masks are a creature. I don't think I believe that. Something evolved to be a mask? I don't think I necessarily buy that. It's a big galaxy, but that's just a bit too niche. So I imagine I'm probably going to come away from this series feeling more or less the same about the Vong as a whole as I do now. But like I said, I'm really liking Nam Anor so far. I like his stance as a revolutionary leader among the people of this planet. I think that that's an interesting angle for this faction to take, and I'm excited to see them execute their plan as it goes on. I like the way that it's showing us the perspective of the Vong from the beginning. I kind of expected, just from what I knew from a distance, that it would be mostly focused on the Jedi just figuring out what's going on. But I like that we are up close and personal with Nam Anor as no, the invasion is starting. We're kicking into gear. That's cool. This has done a really great job of building the sort of dread around what's going to happen. Because, I don't know exactly what things were like when this book was first announced, but I imagine they knew it was part of a large series, so they knew something big has to be coming. In retrospect, I obviously know that something enormous is coming. So you really get a lot of fun as they're really ramping up to that. They're taking their time and going slowly, and I like that. I adore seeing Jason and Jaina all grow up. I love that they're already taking a central role in this. Obviously Leia and Luke and Han, I'm delighted to see more of. I think it's a little awkward that book one starts off with just Mara Jade has been poisoned. Anyways, I understand obviously that's going to come into play later. Clearly, Nam Anor has played a part in that. But I don't know. I think it's weird that it just happened off screen between books. That's a very minor nitpick, though. That's not a big deal. Jason, it's funny. I know a lot of Legends fans probably won't like this. I still don't know how I'm going to feel about Jason falling to the dark side, but this book does kind of make a good argument for it within the first 100 pages. The thing is, I imagine he's going to learn from what he's feeling here by the end of the New Jedi Order series, so there's gonna lie the issue. But page one, him being I don't think we need a Republic Council, I don't think we need a Jedi Council, I think that we should be able to follow our own destinies. He sounded a little bit Sith, but I know that the events of Traitor will probably influence that. That is one of the downsides of starting this so late. I know who the title of Traitor refers to, so I'm waiting for someone to show up, and I'm very excited to meet them, because of the characters in this, they're the one I know the least about, so I'm really eager to get to that part. Overall, I'm enjoying this so far. It's well written. I've never read anything by R.A. Salvatore, who is like a prolific sci-fi writer in a dozen series, so it's going to be cool finally getting to say just what I think of his writing. It's good so far. I'll say I have mixed feelings at the moment about Anakin Solo's arc. Like, already I can see sort of the groundwork that they're setting for it, and I don't know, maybe it's just that I think it's going to be too sad. I think it's so rough that they're starting Anakin in such a bad place, and I know exactly how it's going to end. This has always been referred to as a very brutal series, and I suppose I'll be just making my judgment on, do I feel that it's justified in its brutality, or does it go over the top? My gut says I'll probably lean a little bit to the latter, but hopefully not too much. I think the last thing I'll say is the bit where Nominor looks like Darth Vader is unnecessary. I don't necessarily see the point in that. Like, everything doesn't need to come back to Vader. He can be scary on his own. I think him looking new would be more effective than just saying he looks like Vader. He could be just an intimidating guy. That's fine. Why he's wearing a human disguise and also a mask, maybe his plan will reveal that later, that he wants the, like, backup, but I don't know. I think it's unnecessary. Anyways, again, though, that's a very minor complaint. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Overall, I'm enjoying this book. I'm excited to get to the end of it, and I'm excited to dive into the 18 others. Much like the High Republic, I'm kind of anticipating a little bit of a fluctuating wave of quality. You know, different authors writing different sections, I'm sure will be better or worse. But there's some that I'm really, really looking forward to. Traitor is an obvious one. I've heard amazing things about the unifying force, and so I am tremendously excited to make my way through this series and experience what many hold as the peak of Star Wars. And I will be posting plenty of things, particularly on TikTok and Instagram, but also a little bit on YouTube, talking about my journey as I go, and I hope that you join me, and we can see just what this ugly bastard is going to get up to. What kind of shenanigans he's going to get into. God, they're so bad. The covers, so bad. That's not going to change. I am not rescinding that. Ugh. The Japanese ones are gorgeous. That's where I'm leaving it.